My biggest worry about this film was, will it hold up? Because I'd seen it in 1998 in the movies, and it was really good. So you don't want to go watch it again and then go, well, that sucked. Because all this 3D animation and all of that, it's all advanced, it's all good. You look at an old Disney film, you're going, I mean, you know, you compare it with everything that's happening right now, like the super duper amazing stuff. It holds up! So, yay! All is good, all is well. It's very good. It's really, really very good. I mean, end of review. It's excellent. Go watch it. This is, you know, you absolutely have to see this for your Easter Sunday or Easter Monday, whatever you choose. Probably Easter Sunday. I mean, we're done. The only thing is that the ending is... There's a few moments that they have kind of like have to fast forward the story. And, you know, hit the accelerator button. And they do it twice. They do it when they're going through all of the horror, the things raining down on the earth. And they kind of go from the first two to... And now we're at the last one. In a way, fair. I would have actually liked to have seen it more better paced. I mean, it was paced well if you need to hit the fast forward button, because clearly they did. But
So would you have been happy to give up other parts of the movie to get it back in?
no, no cutting. That said, I think we can do without the young men frolic together and chariot chase through all the works of the Sphinx. And by doing so, accidentally cutting off her nose. It's really nice. It's fun. It's fantastic. It's like, oh, we are doing a children's movie. This is just for family fun.
Cartoony!
Yeah, it is. It's cool. It's. I think that was also quite impressive at the time, because like a big car chase in a historical but animated film wasn't really a thing that you saw unless it was the chariot race at Ben-Hur. But still, I think it still holds up as an action scene. It's really, really good. And I don't think that we need it. But you have to tell them somehow that these boys are, you know, the jet set.
I think that scene is there because of Ben-Hur. Because the Ben-Hur scene is so iconic. You want to do iconic stuff in your feature movie. What's the most iconic thing you can think of?
Yeah, and you can't really have them do hand-to-hand combat. Which is really what they probably were doing. They would probably be doing hand-to-hand training, archery training. And I don't think they would be trashing the entire scaffolding of the Sphinx. Not even these two. Well, maybe they were princes.
At the time in Egypt, there would have been archery and spear throwing. And a lot of, horse racing as well, because you had chariots. You did have war chariots.
Yeah, well, that's what they're using. They're doing the chariot, the one-man chariot racing. But it's clearly like these are the top of the top. Rameses is going to be Pharaoh. He is the heir. He is going to be ruler of what is to them is effectively the known world. They know more of the world than that, but they don't care about anything else. Moses is then shown as he is smarter than Rameses, and I think that's an interesting take, because I don't know if there's in the text anything about whether one is smarter than the other, but it's clearly showing he's the spare. Although he may never be in line, he's considered a brother, but he knows that he is not an actual son of the queen.
Yeah. The text, the Bible text, you don't even know which Pharaoh it is. It's just Pharaoh, and then the next Pharaoh. They never name him. And that's one. And the other is that the way Moses gets into the succession line or not, the Egyptians were less worried about who is son and daughter of whom, but who is accepted to be son and daughter. That's why daughter of Pharaoh can just get a child from somewhere and have them be their child. That is how I mean, we don't know enough about the actual Egyptians, but that's what it seems to be like. They feel they don't. Yes, son of the body is important, but you can adopt as well.
Yeah, I would say son of her body would be a preference. That he is neither seems to be normal to be known in the palace. They don't dwell on it. There's no talk about adoption. There's no talk about it. It's like adoption is fairly modern. Well, the Romans did adoption, but other than that, adoption is a fairly modern concept. It's just like, okay, you're in the group. You're part of this. You're now the younger brother. Since you're the spare. It doesn't matter. They would probably have more of a stance on it if there hadn't been a big brother already. Yeah,
but they did live in a time that big brothers also die very quickly. I mean, the child mortality until very recently was pretty dire.
Yes.
And the Egyptians were actually doing pretty okay on that. But they had also simply a different idea about how family structure works. They didn't get married like we do. Like that's the most basic thing that we do now. They didn't. You just said, okay, now we're together, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we decide that that's basic. Yeah. Other cultures decide that it's not important.
Exactly, and so this whole son of whomever is not that important.
And the queen takes the baby out of the basket in the water, and she immediately like, okay, this is your younger brother. Let's go tell your father. Yeah, that's it. We're done. She gets to decide this.
And the gods gave her a baby.
Yeah, clearly. Yes. This film is really tightly written. Really well done. The writer is Philip Lazebnik. But there's additional screenplay material by Nicholas Meyer. And Nicholas Meyer, me, as a Star Trek fan, knows that he has written and directed, but certainly directed The Wrath of Khan, and then not The Search for Spock, because he was noted to have said that he doesn't do resurrections. And then Leonard Nimoy stepped in and said, I'm good with resurrections.
Also, you're getting resurrected.
Yes, but he did come back for, I believe, the Undiscovered Country yet again to co-write the script for that with Leonard Nimoy. And then Leonard Nimoy directed that. He also did... Nicholas Meyer was really known for his epics and his historical pieces. And I have too briefly looked at his list and I can't pick it out. He did do an Odysseus in around the same time as this late 90s television show, which I sadly missed, so I'll have to go look for that. He's very good. I think I don't know Philip Lazebnik, but together, you can write a tight script. Also, they had time, because it's an animated movie. DreamWorks started with it in 1994, and they were finished in 1997, and they brought it out in 1998. So you have time. Animated films cost 3 years at the very least, sometimes 10.
But you have to have the script or at least the plan pretty early on.
Yeah, but you can also still be working on the script while you're finalizing your animation style and all of that, because this was the first project of DreamWorks, and they later did Shrek and all those other Ants and all those things. So this was out of the gate. We're doing Prince of Egypt, and
biblical epic.
Yes, their idea was to do the 10 Commandments, and that's where I think they did a reasonably good choice is saying 10 Commandments, it's been done. Let's do
expertly.
Yeah, let's do the youth, and let's do like his moment until the parting of the seas and literally escaping with the people out of Egypt. And I think that's a really good choice. Therefore, the title is correct. It's Prince of Egypt. We're doing the Egypt part of it. So they waste no time. They've got... The beginning is literally deliver us. Deliver us... Deliver us to the promised land. Deliver us. And that's the entire song for the first 8 minutes. They start with some Hebrew. Also later on, they at the end, when they do get to the promised land, they do Hebrew singing yet again. I'm not versed in that, so I assume that they made reasonable choices, but it wasn't translated, it wasn't subtitled. I got my subtitles on. And that's a shame. It is a biblical epic. You are doing it for a certain audience. Please subtitle what people are saying. Also subtitles for the deaf, please. Yeah, it brings, like, the first 8 minutes it tells you what we're doing. And it continues to do that. It's like every scene is really intentional. I think with animation you have to be intentional. I know that Disney can get like, oh, let's do the pretty also in between. They have no time for this in this film. We got way too much story to go through. And that's why they had to sort of like step on the accelerator for certain parts of it. There's also not really a sense of time where he has left Egypt and he's in the desert, and he comes in the family of Jethro. And then he marries his daughter Zipporah. And then he's a sheep herder, and then, oh, here's the burning bush. So it's a little fast. I got from the 10 Commandments, I got much more sense of time. But I believe 10 Commandments is like 3.5 hours. So fair enough. They had a lot more time to do everything. And you just don't have time. But it's a good thing in this film because it leaves you on your toes for the whole thing, but in a really nice way. It's like okay, and here's the next, and here's we're moving forward in the story to the point where at the end I was like, oh yes, they're getting away, and I'm going, oh, there is Rameses again with his army. What now? I'm like, oh yeah, parting of the seas. How could I have forgotten? But I was in the movie so much that I was like, yay! And there's of course more comes, but they stop after the parting of the seas, and they go to the promised land.
Because that's not a fun bit.
No, 40 years in the desert. That's not gonna be a quick like accelerator pad kind of thing. And so stopping there is good.
Yeah, and I believe that 10 Commandments skips over most of that as well, because same reason.
Yeah, it's too long. But they do all of the stuff that happens in the desert. Here, they don't. And it just goes from parting of the seas, they're out, the Egyptian army is drowned, and Rameses is thrown on the other side to a rock and goes, woe is me. And he had kind of a point. Woe was definitely him at that point.
little aside, I think the Bible doesn't say whether or not the Pharaoh survives that.
I think animation here says he does, but there's certainly the moment where Moses, so that's early, like in the beginning of the film, where he's realized that he is Hebrew, and now he's actually seeing everything that's happening up on the scaffolding, that is the works that is going on at that time, is that the amount of abuse and brutality goes on towards the workers who are enslaved. And that is his people, is now suddenly he has realized that they're people and all of that. And it's a really good way of showing his awakening in his mind. And then I'm just looking at it going, if that is what it takes for a person to be humane and realize that other people should not be enslaved, be whipped at their work. I mean, talk about counterproductive. The brutality going on is just that makes me despair for humanity, because most people aren't a changeling prince and this and that. So
it's a good metaphor in the story, but I do have to say that all of it is lies, because the Egyptians did not. That everybody kept slaves in olden days, but that what they're showing in that movie, also in Ten Commandments, no. That's not how it went. The Egyptians were very egalitarian. They would take their own people and treat them exactly the same way. So there you go. It doesn't matter, slave or not.
yeah. Oh dear. History is not a good place to live in.
No.
They make a good circle of the origin story of Moses, even though they went through it really beautifully quickly in the first 8 minutes of the film. Is that there was this moment where the Pharao Seti, which is the father of these two boys, decided that, oh no, the Hebrews are going to get out of hand, so we'll just be murdering all the babies now. That's what we're doing right now. And that's why his mother, and we do have a name, Yocheved, Moses' mother, was decided to put him in a basket and send him off, and basically saying, this is better. I mean, you have a possibility of growing up free because you are going to die. Because I was looking at it going, well, it's a risk, She must not want her child to grow up as a slave. But no, they were going to kill those children. So she had no choice. It was like this or nothing. I like that they cast Ofra Haza, that I hadn't heard of before, as Yocheved, and she is an Israeli artist and actor and singer. Yeah, singer, artist, I believe, and actor. So that's very good casting. For the rest of the casting, that's actually my only quibble with this film, because if we look at it from 2025, you don't cast these people. You just don't. I mean, they're wonderful. I mean, we've got Val Kilmer, we've got Ralph Fiennes, we've got Michelle Pfeiffer as Zipporah, as and Sandra Bullock as Miriam, his sister, and Jeff Goldblum as Aaron, has his brother. That's one of the few people I say should stay. And then Danny Glover as Jethro. As far as I'm concerned, he can stay. He was just in some kind of Northern African settlement. It's unclear in this film who they were. And then you have Patrick Stewart and as Seti, and Helen Mirren as the Queen. Yeah, no, but Ofra Haza, yes. We would now look at. Surely you can get a cast together that is ethnically more appropriate here.
Yes, but I think for an animated thing, you get the sound people in, and these are definitely the sound people.
This is like top-notch
sound
cast.
People. Yes.
I mean, these are not just sound people. These are film stars, A-listed film stars.
Yeah, but they're also very good at actual sound.
Yeah. I mean, they're all excellent. And but yeah, now we would do it differently. But this wasn't now. So, and it's beautiful. It's really, really well done. I don't think that they used, Disney tends to use their actual faces and then model the characters after them. I couldn't really pick that up in this film. It's very stylized. It's a very beautiful animation style, and I really like it. It's not especially Disney, but it's not like anti-Disney either, which I think with Ants it was much more like, let's not do Disney. This one is just, I think they just decided, okay, we're doing this for serious. And I think that's the best way to go. If you're going to make something, be serious about it and do the best that you can do for it.
Do you think that for people who have never seen this story before, have never heard this story before, is this a good introduction?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
It has everything in it.
It has all the elements. It's really, it is pushing to make sure that all the bits are in there that are at least important to the story. It really works from beginning to last. The only points where they lose me a little bit is that the ending, it's sort of like it has a remnants of, oh, we wanted to do the 10 Commandments. And you haven't really earned the 10 Commandments at the end. You've earned him taking them out of Egypt. He is Prince of Egypt. He is now Prince of the Hebrews. He is the one who's going to take them. And then at some point he will get the 10 Commandments. I think that's a tiny little mistake, and that would raise a little question for people who are going, why is he standing there with the things? And then you've got like the view from the back again with the mount. It's like, don't do views from the back in Bible films anymore. We're done. So, but it's not enough to say that brings the film down. It's just that little bit, if you don't know that's part of the story, if you haven't got like your step 2 basics of the Old Testament, then yeah, that would lose you. So maybe not for 5, 6, 7-year-olds. I don't think the film is for 5, 6, 7-year-olds anyway. He's at the beginning. When he realizes that he's now seeing that his people are being abused and whipped and stuff, that's when he gets so angry that he pushes one of the guards off the scaffolding. Yeah, he's going to be dead. And we don't see him being dead, but immediately after that he says to Rameses, no, I killed somebody. So it's text that he has killed somebody. And he knows, that's it, I have to go. And again, you don't feel any sense of time. It's like, okay, he's seen his sister. She says, yeah, you're my brother. You're supposed to deliver us. What's happening? Oh, why aren't you doing that? And he's like, what?
Nobody told me.
Yeah. And then he has maybe 2 minutes in the film to realize. So that's pretty quick, because you have to just run through the story. So the heart of the story is the 2 brothers. Although you don't get to see Rameses all of the time, but that's really where it's sort of like brothers to enemies kind of thing. But they remain brothers, and it remains problematical. But more from Rameses' side than from Moses' side, because by that time Moses has his wife, he has spoken to God, he has a mandate, he has a staff, so he's got a lot of things that he can attach to that isn't his original family. And to him, his original family would have been the king, the queen, or the pharaoh, the queen pharaoh, and Rameses. He comes back, now Rameses is pharaoh. Yeah. So at that point, all of the older generation is suddenly gone, which also clears out like one of the 4 women on screen in the entire film. Not a lot of women, but they do make them count, so that's kind of nice. I think we were just in the like late 90s, we were just getting up to, yeah, we're supposed to actually have women have lines. That would be good. Maybe a bit of plot would be great as well. And maybe it would be cool if there weren't like the mother and the sister and the daughter and the girlfriend. Okay, we have not, and the wife. We have not succeeded here, but because traditionally that's what women are in stories. They're always told by men, and they're always about men, and they're always the only women that are there, the mothers and the sometimes a secretary.
And as innovative as this thing is, it has a basis in many established things like Rameses, because I remember him. He looks exactly like Yul Brynner.
He does.
That's deliberate.
I was literally looking at him. Gosh, you're Yul Brynner. First he has the one.
It's the princely lock
yes.
that denotes that he's a prince.
Yeah,
princeling.
and Moses doesn't have it. Also, Moses is wearing a wig because he has the nice black standard. I would say like medieval cut bob line.
But later
wig.
when not sure if it should be in this one. Later when Rameses has his child, the child now has the lock.
That's correct.
Which is
yeah.
the princely lock.
Yeah, but maybe crown prince, or maybe it is denoting that he's there, he's a prince, but he's never gonna be Pharaoh. Yeah. Moses, he's never gonna be Pharaoh.
I have to look up, but it is quite possible that we don't know what the exact significance of the princely lock is. We just see it in depictions. We don't always know what stuff means.
Yeah. And so they did that here, and there's the scene, the story arc between the brothers is built up really well. And they have to go within one scene. They have to go, brothers, great to see you. I absolve you of all your. I am Pharaoh now. I can absolve you, and you are innocent. And then, literally within a minute, it has to go from that to you are now my mortal enemy, and and it's done really well. I mean, actors, but also the animation, all of it, the writing, it's so good. It really works. And then we go through the story, and we get to the scene where the smiting will happen of the firstborns. And it's not exactly Moses' choice, because he's like, yeah, you just said this about your boy, this is not good. My God is going to do something not good. What's coming is really bad. So he sounds like it's out of his control. He can't stop it either. But he's like, this, it's coming. And then, of course, the next moment when Moses comes to his former brother, because it's still his brother, and there is his nephew is dead. And they don't say that, because by that time they're such enemies. But I'm sitting there going, this is his brother, and he's holding, just like in the Ten Commandments, he's holding the boy and laying him out on a slab, some marble, table of some sort. And that's completely like the Ten Commandments. The boy is Moses' nephew. And by that time, the film doesn't recognize that anymore.
It understandably, because Moses hasn't been there for many, many years. He hasn't met the nephew.
Yeah, but like I said, the film is so fast that you don't get that. You don't get the sense of time.
And by the way, Moses also has a son with Sephora. In the story.
No.
Yeah, but in the story.
Yeah. It's not in here. They don't have time for yet another child. A message for the ages in the film as well is when Rameses is asking, why are you doing this? And then Moses said, no kingdom should be made on the backs of slaves. So that will always be a very, very good message to keep reinforcing, and why it keeps being important to show a story like this. Going back to the death of the young prince, is to go from that, because that's where Rameses says, okay, you have my permission to take your people and go. To go from this super low point where we have seen child after child after child dying, because we've seen them off screen, but we've seen them and it's shown. And then you have to go, and then the Hebrew people have to pick themselves up and going, yay, we have to go now. And that transition is so hard in the film that they take time to, the music needs to take a really long time. Everybody's really surprised and going, I guess we can go now. And then until they're actually moving out, and that I'm not sure the film pulled it off. to make that transition properly, I think I would have taken more time. But like I said, they don't have time. And that may be the only other failing of the film is, please, just make it 2 hours, put that extra time in.
It cost any money.
Yeah, well, Are there actually fully animated films made by the American companies that are 2 hours? Does that ever happen?
Yes, and I have to give you the answer in the edits. Because there was one.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There was one, so it's really too hard to do. This movie could have done with 1 hour 55. That would have given it about 20 more minutes to take the beats where you need to take the beats. Don't put more story in. There's enough story. I would watch it with 10-year-olds and above. I wouldn't consider this a movie for young children. They may not see anything. It'll be just like, cool stuff happening on the screen. But
pretty picture.
Yeah, for actual understanding, I would say 10 years old. And family viewing and good talking point, but also just really, really beautiful animation. Fantastic voices. Great music. They had songs where you needed songs. They had transitional music where you needed transitional music. All the songs were originally written for this, obviously, because that's usually how it goes. And it's necessary. Yeah, there's your proper Easter Sunday family viewing. There you go. And I think it is definitely a good addition, or instead of watching the Ten Commandments with, the cast from the 1960s? 1950s?
59, I think.
Yeah. That's a very, very long movie. And it's much more serious. This is serious, but it has light moments. And it has frolic and fun. So, this would be my choice. I would watch this I would watch this before the Ten Commandments full live action version. And that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.